Welcome to the Outer Belt Podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Chili.
And you all know our producer, Jer Bear.
What's up, everybody?
Vince, how has your week been?
My week has been horrible, Patrick.
Horrible?
It's been so busy. It's been cold outside. Snow, ice, rain, wind. It's just been miserable outside.
It has.
I'm a Southern California boy. You know that.
Well, I'm sure you had plenty of 15-degree days out in...
Plenty of 15 degrees Celsius days out in California.
Oh,
Yes.
Celsius is nice.
Yeah, it is nice at 15 degrees Celsius.
I understand why the Europeans did it warmer days.
Exactly. Yeah. How about you? How's your week been, Patrick?
It's been pretty good. Finally got the Christmas decorations down at the house. January 31st, I was told...
You beat February.
I beat February. I was told if I didn't have them down by February 1st, they were going to burn my house to the ground, and I didn't want that. So Christmas is officially gone. Lights are off the house. It is back to boring normality.
Well, now you're celebrating Black History Month, right?
I am, absolutely.
Thank you.
I need to remember to change my Facebook profile picture for that. Yeah,
you do. Yeah.
I'm sure they got like one of those little ring frames.
I'm sure
that go
they
around
do.
It, right?
Yeah, they had it for your watch and your phone too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, check that out.
All kinds of Black History stuff going on. Only 28 days though. Well, now you got 26 days left, so
I can still stand.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Represent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jerry, how about you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Yeah.
Just moved to the Ohio area, so still settling in, still getting used to the area and where to go and shopping and getting settled into the house and all that good stuff. But things are going good.
As soon as you adjust to this cold, the heat and humidity is going to slap you in the face. Just want you to know that. Be prepared.
I'm ready for it.
I got to interject there. Have you been to North Carolina in the middle of summer? He's going to be running around like it's amazing.
Yeah, the humidity down there is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
Yeah.
Should be a little better here.
Yeah, I will say it is. You picked the perfect week to move in. It was nice and sunny and warm and all that.
I wouldn't say warm. It was kind of cold.
It was kind of cold.
And it's been really cold the last few days. I think tonight's going to be like 9.
I think so as well. Yeah, it's been ridiculous. Well, anyways, welcome everybody to the podcast. This is show number 1, so you're here at the groundbreaking ceremonial start. And for that, I don't know what you get. Maybe on our 10-year anniversary, we'll talk about some kind of gift if you were here from day one.
It's 10 years, like diamonds or something.
It's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Oh, yeah, that's Lucy. Sorry.
So our plan here is to discuss industry news, over-the-road lifestyle, healthy living, and also connect with our Hyfield family, who is the sponsor of this podcast. So let's just jump right in.
So one of the things that you sent us, Patrick, that caught my eye was this trucker age exemption bill. I'm curious to know what your thoughts on this are, with truckers being able to drive at a younger age than 21 now.
Okay, so I read through that article and I thought it was very interesting. I am, the article and being able to drive before you're 21 are kind of a couple different things. The article was very misleading at first, but it had some great information in here. If I can read some excerpts from it, they're talking about how, so a little background. Underage truck drivers are exempted from driving interstate commerce. So what that means is if you're between the ages of, or if you're below 21 and you have a CDL, you are not allowed to haul freight outside of your state.
Right.
So if you have a Mississippi license, then you can only haul freight within the state of Mississippi. Once you turn 21, then you can haul it all over the country. And so this article talks about at the ports, right now, if you are under 21, it's illegal to haul freight. And this article's out of Trucking, FreightWaves rather. Sorry, if you pick up freight at a port and you bring it to a distribution center, or you bring it to a store, or you bring it to a like an elevator or something like that, then you are not allowed to do that unless you're over 21, even if it's within your own state. Under current law, picking up containers and other cargo from a marine terminal, so a port, is interpreted as interstate trucking, even if the port is located in the same state as the driver's final destination. So, a 20-year-old with a driver's license can't pick up a container and then haul it down the road. They actually use the example. This particular congressman is based out of Florida. So a 20-year-old with a commercial driver's license, it's illegal for them to pick up a shipment at the port of Palm Beach and deliver it to Stewart, which is 40 miles away. But the same driver could pick up a load in Tallahassee and drive it to Miami, which is over 500 miles, and be fully legal.
That seems bizarre to me.
It's completely insane that they have these rules. And I do understand a port is, like you have to have a foot card. It is considered like international area of sorts. But when we're talking over-the-road transportation, that shouldn't be the case. So what they're trying to do is provide a subsection inside of the U.S. Transportation Title of Code that says to provide that the transportation of goods from a port of entry to another place within the same state, such as a port, does not constitute interstate transportation. So it would then allow them, and this is Republican Brian Mast out of Florida, who is sponsoring this bill. They did try this back in 2021 under the Santa Act, and it did not, it didn't move. So they're trying it again, but it just goes to show you some of the ridiculous bureaucracy when it comes to this. There's a lot of things that are done because of safety. This doesn't seem to be one of them.
No, it doesn't. When you take a similar situation where Texas, for instance, you have a driver who can pick up a load in El Paso, not at a port, at a cross dock in El Paso, and haul that load all the way over to Houston. You can't make that trip in a single day. It's an overnight trip. They can run that load, but they can't pick up a load in Houston and carry it across the border into Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. I understand the idea, the responsibility. We're giving this person 80,000 pound vehicle or whatever it may be, and how do we trust them if they're not of a certain age? But I think so my personal opinion, the government is trying to step into where I think the insurance companies' territory is. So insurance companies, right? They tell trucking companies what they can and cannot do. They really run the show on a much larger scale.
I agree.
And they go based strictly off of data. So if an insurance company looks at a 19, 20-year-old driver and they base it on all the 19, 20-year-old CDL holders, and if on average they are safe to run a vehicle, then they'll insure a carrier, and the carrier can then run the freight. But if that actually becomes unsafe, then the insurance carrier would step back and go yeah, we're not gonna support that.
Sure.
We're not gonna insure that customer. So, it's a case where insurance and economics would actually solve the problem, and they would do it based on actual empirical data of this is the number of accidents, this is the number of issues we've had. Whereas I feel like with a situation like this, Congress has a hunch and it's just kind of thrown at the wall and on that hunch.
Aren't we giving the insurance companies a free pass here, though, because the law doesn't allow this to happen from ports across state border, or from a port into the same state? The law doesn't allow it to happen. So by the law, isn't the law giving the insurance companies a free pass on not? There's no one challenging this.
Sure. Right now it is. I'm saying if we open it up to where, in general, someone between the age of 18 and 20 would be able to drive interstate, period, then at that point, it would come up to the insurance companies and what they will and will not insure.
Right.
And
but that free pass, though, still applies. Or are the insurance companies lobbying so heavily in the halls of Congress to not allow this that Congress isn't allowing it to pass? Are we seeing that insurance company lobby holding this back from happening?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it probably begs the challenge of being looked into. Insurance companies stepping back and saying, I can't be held responsible for something if you don't allow it to happen.
Sure.
I think that's
Sure.
absolutely possible. It is something that is very interesting, and I think over the next few years we're going to see some movement here. I know they're testing the waters. There are a couple carriers that have gotten exemptions before to allow younger drivers to haul freight interstate, and I think over the next couple of years we will see more of that happening, unless unless their CSA scores go up through the roof. Then I think they'll cut that down and make that a more difficult thing to do. And there's already, even right now, there's a lot of carriers that say you have to be 25 years old to be able to
They do.
drive a truck.
Yeah. Well, but that's also driven by insurance companies as well, though. I mean, insurance companies are saying 25-year-olds. The regulations that allow for under 20 to drive interstate right now are pretty restrictive. You have to have lane departure warning. You have to have adaptive cruise control. You have to have someone over the age of, I don't know what it is, honestly, in the truck. So there are all these safety requirements that are going to keep those below 21-year-olds from driving, unless they're with a carrier that can afford to buy newer equipment. Anyway, that's another topic for another day.
All right. If you agree or disagree with us, please leave us a comment, drop us a line. We'd love to hear what you think about that. I have been going through and building out or specking out trucks for Hyfield Trucking over the past several months, and I'm having some crazy difficult times actually getting people to build boxes for us. So for those of you that don't know, the company that we work with, they haul freight on straight trucks, and the boxes that are on the trucks are actually built by the major trailer companies. So they're essentially just a trailer that's put on the back of a truck. And that supply chain has gotten really, really tough. And I know it's gotten tough for us. I know it's gotten tough for other industries, but I just saw this article the other day. This one was also through FreightWaves. And actually, no, this one might have been a PR release from Wabash. Wabash National is, I think, the largest trailer manufacturer in America. They are huge. If you see a trailer going down the road, there's a really good chance it's a Wabash. They've got half a dozen sites all across America building trailers, and they just did a 15,000 trailer deal with JB Hunt. So JB Hunt has agreed to purchase 15,000 trailers from them to keep their supply in and to ensure that JB Hunt is able to have their trailers when they need them. And I I thought it was interesting because that is that's something that affects us. Wabash is a company that we work with. We do have several Wabash bodies on our trucks, and as of late, they've been almost impossible to get. And when I ran across this ad, it's like, okay, or this PR release, like what's going on? And I read through it, and I found out basically 15,000 trailers over the next several years. They were not specific on how many trailers for how many years. They do say they have a contract with a aluminum supplier, Hydro, Hydro, Hydro. They have a 10-year aluminum supply agreement with Hydro, so we assume that they'll probably be within those 10 years that they're going to be getting these 15,000 trailers. But they're basically, the whole ad is talking about, or the whole article is talking about how these major companies are looking for not to sell to owner-operators, not to sell to individual small companies, but they're actively looking for these massive contracts, and they're looking to buy these or to sell their trailers to huge companies. It affects a company like mine, or ours, because it's we have such a small market compared to these people, and it's causing Wabash to do drastic things. For example, they have taken one of their refrigerated trailer production facilities. So that is a insulated bodies. So they haul pharmaceuticals, they haul pizza or bread or whatever all across the country. They've completely closed it down and rebuilt it. So they used to make 5,000 of these refrigerated trailers a year. Now they're going to be making 10,000 dry vans.
I was just looking at that, and that really hurts us. We're looking for reefer boxes
It-
on a lot of our trucks,
Absolutely.
and that really affects us. And we don't have that 15,000 truck body buying power that a JB Hunt has.
Correct.
It hurts.
And
It
it
hurts
hurts
the little guy.
And it hurts all the reefer companies
Sure.
too, because even like your mid-sized companies that have 1,500 trucks, they can't compete with a company that's buying 15,000 trailers at a time. There's a lot of really decent size, I'm gonna say 500 to 1,000 trucks that haul refrigerated goods. They haul the cheese that you're eating. They haul the milk, all that good stuff, all across the country that are gonna be struggling to get reefer trucks. And I think, or reefer trailers, and I think you're going to see that over the next few years. That's going to start hitting the supply chain issues as well, where the companies that are hauling these foods and everything, they're not able to get the equipment they need to be able to continue doing that, which then just raises prices on everything.
I was going to say it jacks up the price on consumers because the price of a refrigerated trailer goes up, the price of hauling that freight goes up, and it hits the consumers right in the pocket. You think eggs are expensive now. Imagine when these reefer prices go up, prices of eggs go up again too.
Absolutely. And a lot of times it's just you have to get in line.
Sure.
So we have to wait till JB Hunt's trailers are built before we can get more. And then JB Hunt's they're the one that made the big contract, but they're just one of many. I mean,
They are.
your Swifts, your Snyders, your Primes,
They
all
are.
those massive companies out there that absorb the market. 2 or 3 years ago, it wasn't an issue. But now the supply chain has gotten so restrictive. It's really starting to become an issue for the smaller companies. We are lucky that we have some local builders in and around Ohio that we're able to get some stock from at a higher price. But that's at least we're able to keep pushing forward. And I don't know the entire country is going to be that fortunate.
No, they're not, and this isn't going to change anything. I mean, you have the other trailer manufacturers going to get in the same thing, and they're trying to make the same deals with big company carriers as well, so they can kind of carry on their business into the future as well.
Absolutely, and it really is a supply chain issue. I can't really fault Wabash for this. What they're doing is they're having to go and buy aluminum, like I said, 10 years in
Sure.
advance.
Yeah.
So they have to go to a company and say, I'm going to buy this much aluminum. If they don't sell that many trailers, then they're in trouble. And 10 years is multiple freight cycles.
Sure.
So they're just trying to leverage their buying power and also guarantee they get the materials they need. I understand it, but it puts us in a tight spot.
Well, they're going to have their times as well where the price of aluminum goes below what their contract price is at, or the price of aluminum goes above what their contract price is at. They have to ride that roller coaster as well. They're just trying to level it out.
Absolutely.
Keep a nice level line.
It
Ride
is.
the highs and the lows.
Yep, and maintain the supply.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I read this. I thought this was interesting. I'll just read it to you. In Mexico, they averaged 39 cargo thefts a day in
Wow.
November. Cargo thefts rose 4.5% year over year in November in Mexico. In November, the country's Secretary of Security and Civilian Protection and the Attorney General's office recorded a total of 1,181 cargo theft incidences, or about 39 and a half a day. Now, let's put that in perspective. In 3 months, so 1 quarter, 3 months, second quarter, April through May of last year, the U.S. had 214 cargo thefts. 66 in April, 86 in May, and 62 in June. Versus 1,181 cargo thefts a month in Mexico. It is crazy. They said that the state of Mexico ranked number 1, followed by Puebla.
Can I cut you off and correct your number there, Patrick? You said 1,181 in a month. I see 11,989 total crimes from January to November.
Yes, that's for the whole. That's for the
Oh,
year.
for the year. Okay,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep. And those are crimes committed against carriers. Those are not crimes like just your normal towards each other. That's actually towards motor carriers.
Gotcha. Yeah.
A 7% increase from 2001 or 2021. 2020. 21, sorry. What's 21? And Most commonly stolen goods are fresh food, food and beverage, fuel, construction materials, and automotive parts and electronic products. The biggest reason I bring that up is they are saying that cargo theft is starting to become a major problem with cross-border trade, which there's always been a degree of that, I think, in the cross-border traffic. We experienced some of that with some of our trucks down in Laredo. Not that we encounter it, but that you have to be aware of it.
Sure.
But they're just saying that's rising.
Well, when I see automotive parts and electronic products, I'm thinking that's stuff that we're hauling, cross-docking in Mexico a lot with Panther that we're bringing into the United States, and those are loads that we're not getting because they're being stolen.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of times it is just that. You show up and the manifest says it's there, and they unload the train or they unload the other truck, and
it's not there.
It's not there.
Not there, yeah.
Yeah. So it is frustrating, especially if you have trucks there waiting on stuff and they end up getting there and it's stolen. Thankfully, I think our supply chain that we work with down there, they get goods in-house, put them in a warehouse, and they usually have them for a few days before we ever even get a truck assigned to it. But it is a thought.
It is a thought, yeah. It is a thought, certainly. Sometimes, though, with the Panther trucks, we're getting there and the freight's rolling in at the same time we're rolling in.
Yeah.
So it depends on how hot the cargo is and when it's coming across. How fast it gets through customs.
Yeah, well.
All kinds of variables.
All kinds of variables. You know, Vince, you mentioned Panther just now, and down in Texas, in Laredo, and their cross-border and everything. Did you know that we're actually going to be going to the Mid-America Truck Show with Panther in March?
I did not know that, Patrick. That's news to me.
Yes, so we'll be heading out to the Mid-America Truck Show. We'll have, it's actually, Panther's going to have their booth in the show, and they're going to be there kind of showcasing what they do, and we're going to be kind of alongside them, kind of discussing what Hyfield Trucking does, and kind of showing off, who we are, what we stand for, our principles, that kind of stuff, and just meeting a bunch of folk. So if you're around Louisville area and you want to come out to the Mid-America Truck Show and see us, I encourage you to do it. It's a fun show. It's a big show if you haven't done it before. You can register online. I believe it's free to register online right now. It only takes a couple minutes. I recommend doing it even if you're not going to show up, or even if you don't know if you'll make it, I should say rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know you're not going to make it, don't sign up. But if you think you might make it, go ahead and sign up. That way you can get your badges when you get there and come out and see us. We're going to be over. Oh, I should have looked it up. We're going to be in one of the wings.
Yeah. One of those wings over there. You'll find us.
Yeah, it's on the left side. I just can't think of what it's called. I think it's south. I think it's the south wing. Maybe. I don't know. I made that up. So
that runs March 30th, 31st, and April 1st, right?
That does.
Thursday,
yes.
Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday's kind of the main night of the whole deal, and it's definitely more of like what time or when you want to be there. I believe Thursday's pretty slow. There's usually not a lot of traffic going on there, and Saturday can be a madhouse. But sometimes
Friday's the day then.
Yeah, Friday's the day. Right. Absolutely.
Let's make Friday the madhouse day.
Let's make Friday the madhouse day.
I like it.
Sounds nice.
I like it.
And then on the same thought, Expedite Expo 2023, July 21st, 22nd, out in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That is the truck show that specializes in expediting, which is what our business does right now. And we will be having a booth for that show as well.
I got to say, last year's booth was amazing.
Last year's booth was so much fun. I didn't know it would come together the way it did. There was so much planning and running around and buying stuff and work and effort on so many people's parts. Yep. It was really just it was a blast to do. And this year we're gonna be a little bit bigger booth. We'll have a little more space because last year we were overflowing into the aisleways. But we're going to be there. We're going to be having a lot of fun. We are sponsoring Casino Night and the after party again this year.
Casino Night was a lot of fun.
Casino Night was so much fun.
The after party?
Come on. Well, we're changing a couple things up this time.
Okay, all right.
I got a little some surprises in the store. Yeah, yep.
And surprises.
I do too. It was a lot of fun last year. Gave away so many prizes.
Oh yeah, It felt like everybody won a prize.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah,
it
it
felt,
really did.
except for me somehow. Well, I know.
You weren't eligible.
I wasn't, was I?
No, you weren't eligible.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's the first year I wasn't eligible. Oh, well.
You'll get over it.
I'll get over it. But it was a lot of fun.
That was your prize, the fun that was had by all.
Absolutely. You know what? For those of y'all that attended last year, you can tell the people that didn't attend that weren't there last year. You can find me during most of casino night at the crap stable.
Yes,
that's where I get my rehearsal, my practice in. I play sloppy. I look ridiculous. Casino night, if you don't know, is they bring all the casino games in. They have all the poker, blackjack. They have the crap stable. They have the roulette.
Yeah.
They don't have slot machines, but they give, as soon as you walk in, they give you $1,000 of casino money.
Go have fun.
Go have fun. I mean, you can just you could literally put $1,000 bet on black and just hope for the best. I mean, it's really fun, really awesome,
really good
and
time.
Cash bar. That's hey, who doesn't like a good cash bar, right? It was spectacular. Highly recommend it. But that is July 21st to 22nd. They have truck parking. Both these places have truck parking. This and Matt's. So
I think they do charge $10 at Expedite Expo for truck parking.
Do they?
I think it's $10. The expo itself is free, but I do believe they charge for parking.
Okay. Well, they do charge for parking, but they let you stay overnight.
They do.
And so you're only paying one time when you come in, if they do still require that. And it's a lot of fun. There will be, it's not uncommon to find people out in the parking lot hanging out after the show. It's, it ends up being a really fun time. The industry is so small that it does bring in a lot of kind of like a home, like a homecoming.
It's a great place to meet people and socialize and just network. And like you said, it's a homecoming. You see people that you may not see on the road all year long, but you get to see again at Expo. And rekindle those friendships and catch up on what's going on.
Absolutely. And there's so many people too that I remember from this last year that met each other and they're like, oh my God, we've been Facebook friends for 2 years. We're finally getting to actually meet each other. I mean, like that's just, it's one of the fun things they do. It is during July. July is typically in our industry the slowest time of the month.
Sure.
Or time of the year. So there's really no excuse. Come on out, enjoy some good food, some good company. Come see the Hyfield people. You're going to have all the staff there, so you'll be able to meet everybody. It'll be a ton of fun.
Lots of fun.
So, Jerry, have we missed anything?
I think we need to talk about safety a little bit. We've talked about a lot of fun, had a lot of fun over here, but we got to cover the safety part.
Safety sounds good to me. What, I don't know. Ideas?
Well, sure, I have ideas.
How about distracted driving?
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
Topic.
So, one of the things we see plagues all kinds of people is distracted driving. So, what is distracted driving? That's right. Playing on your cell phone.
Oh, sorry.
Switching music around, finding your favorite Outer Belt podcast episode, asking your loved one to make a Hot Pocket, and then having to correct them because they left it in too long and it's burning. It could also be a little tired and trying to grab the 5-hour energy or the Red Bull or the coffee to try to stay awake. Distracted driving is huge.
We see it all the time. Not from just truck drivers, but from four-wheelers as well. You drive by somebody, you see them swerving, and you can pick them out. You can point at them. Oh, they're texting, or they're doing 55 in a 70, in the left lane. And they're doing something. They're texting. They're smacking the kids in the back seat. They're reaching for a burger.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's so unsafe. It's so dangerous. It only takes us half a second.
That's it. Oh, the peanut gallery over there is saying putting on your makeup.
Putting on your makeup, shaving.
Yeah, shaving, yeah.
But we do see it all the time. As truckers, we have a unique perspective into people's lives, people's cars.
Yeah, we do.
Other truckers, trucks. You have great angles, and you get to see all kinds of stuff. And I see it within the trucking market. And I want to say, that will never happen. We're all professional drivers. We're all, being safe drivers because that's our livelihood. But I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And I know y'all do too.
All the time.
It's so easy. It is so easy and tempting. That screen right there is probably the biggest number one thing. It's just screaming for you. Pick up, grab me. It's only going to take a second. And let me tell you, there's a couple things that it brings to mind. One is it's incredibly dangerous. Again, it only takes a second for you to have your eyes off the road for someone to cut in front of you and hit the brakes because they're trying to make that last exit.
Happens fast.
Or for that cop to see you, just grab your phone to press that one button to hit end call. And yes, you are allowed to touch and end your call with one button. That is allowed. But as soon as you pick up your phone, that's no longer pressing one button. That is now multiple movements, and it gets you a ticket. And with most carriers, it's a disqualifiable
Lose
offense.
your job.
You lose your job
Yes,
over
you
it.
will.
We talk to people all the time, great people, hardworking people who made a mistake and one time grabbed their phone, one time answered a call without using a headset, or just grabbed their phone to quickly glance at a text message, that are disqualified from day one from ever driving, or not ever driving, but for driving for one of our carriers, usually for a year or 3, depending on how bad the offense was.
And I think what people don't realize too is that if you're in your personal car and you get a distracted driving ticket for grabbing your phone in your personal car, that can also disqualify you from driving a commercial vehicle for the carriers that we work with.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not just because you're in a truck. No, it's in your personal car. Doing that doesn't work either.
Correct, yeah. It's funny. I'm going to tell myself, and it's about a different thing. It's about this, but just not realizing what happens in your personal car and how it can affect your livelihood.
Sure.
When we first started driving, so we're going to go all the way back to 2012. I'm sorry, 2013. We got home after Christmas, or after the New Year, from South Louisiana, just in time for Mardi Gras. And
Le bon temps roulé.
See, oui. And I wanted to go get a king cake from Ambrosia Bakery. If you're ever in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Ambrosia Bakery, from New Year's to Mardi Gras, best king cake you'll ever have in your life. It's outstanding. Tell them Patrick sent you. You won't get anything, but just do it anyways. And I got off the interstate, 70 miles an hour, didn't keep giving it gas. I just took my foot off the gas pedal and merged onto a 45-mile-an-hour service road, just letting the vehicle,
like you do,
just letting it coast to a slower speed. And cop knew that was a thing, and he was sitting right there, picked me up, got me for 15 or 16 over, and I was able to, at that time, the state of Louisiana had a class you could take, and if it was your first offense, and do the class, pay a fee, pay a fine,
right,
and then you would be able to have that removed from your record,
okay,
which was great. And I was super happy and lucky to have that as an option. Today, that course is not allowed for CDL holders.
Really?
So if that were to happen to me today,
yeah, done.
I wouldn't be a CDL.
All over.
I can't do it.
Wow.
So the only option at that point is hire an attorney, and then you're at the mercy of the court.
Yeah.
So it is important to keep in mind what you do in your personal car, what you do in that truck has ramifications on your career in driving. And distracted driving is probably one of the number one things we see. Distracted driving and speeding, those are the two things we see all the time come across.
That are immediate disqualifications usually.
Immediate
15 over and distracted driving.
Absolutely. Or even just, 8 miles over twice.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And again, the shocking thing is when you're out there on the road and you see it happen all the time.
Yes, you do.
So everybody stay safe out there. Don't be distracted driving. The next thing up on the list is Hyfield at sea. What? Am I reading that right?
I think you are reading that right. That's what mine says too. Hyfield at sea, ?
Hyfield at sea? Oh, that's right. The cruise. We've been getting asked about this for ever. Since we started the company, can we please do a Hyfield cruise? And it's always been like, yeah, let's do it. And then we never get around doing it. Well, back in 2018, we actually came really close. We picked out a cruise to Cuba.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we started passing information around. Here's the cruise to book, yada, yada, yada. And we're getting really happy, excited. We're going to do this cruise to Cuba. I've been to Cuba. It's beautiful. Havana's awesome. If you get a chance to go for it. And halfway through like promoting that is when Cuba shut down and weren't allowed to go again.
No more Cuba.
Yeah. So we were hoping it'd be a short shutdown and we'd start over again, but that never happened. And then finally we get ready to do it again and COVID happens.
Right.
And so finally we're doing it again. And hopefully this time it sticks. We are doing The Wonder of the Seas for December 30th, 2023. The Wonder of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. It's their largest cruise ship they've ever built. And we are inviting all of our Hyfield family to go down and hang out with us. If you are just a person who likes cruising, come on, we'll be there.
Sure.
It'll be a blast.
That's the New Year's Eve cruise, right?
That is yes, New Year's Eve,
So the
New
big-
Year's cruise.
New Year's cruise. So the big New Year's Eve party on the ship.
Yep. Champagne, balloons falling from the sky,
Nice.
all that good
Nice.
stuff. We'll be able to. We're going to go out to St. Martin, St. Thomas. Perfect day at Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island
that's
they
a lot
own.
of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I did hear they have the largest freshwater pool in the Caribbean,
Wow.
and I think depending on when you're there, sometimes that water's ice cold, sometimes it's great, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. The thing I like the most is that the drinks package works on the island. Hello.
But I hear it's always a perfect day there.
It is always a perfect day. Tons of stuff to do. Water park. There's private cabanas if you're rich. There's a beautiful beach there to
They've
go
got the
explore.
zip line there,
They got
too.
the zip line.
Yeah.
How could you forget the zip line?
Can't forget the zip line.
The buffet's pretty good too.
And the hot air balloon thing.
Oh, yeah, they do have the hot air balloon
Yeah.
thing.
They've got tons of stuff to do on that island.
It's too much. You can't do it all in one day.
Can't do it all in one day.
You can't do it.
No.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
No. Well, you could try. But I wouldn't.
And they also say you shouldn't have alcohol during water park events too. Safety first.
Who said that?
It's on their website.
With an asterisk at the bottom of the page?
It was. I read all the asterisks.
Okay.
I read them all. Yeah. I pay enough for these glasses. I can read all the asterisks.
Oh, I don't. I just assume it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Somebody read it for you. That's why
Yeah.
you got me.
Well,
Keep you in line. You read
Absolute-
the asterisks.
absolutely. They do call you the asterisk reader. So, but no, it'll be an awesome trip.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to spend time with all of my Hyfield family. As you can see, that is a big part of what we do. It is taking the opportunities to spend with each other and having that fellowship, having that fun. So if you're interested in going, if you're Hyfield family, you have a email and a Facebook post that gives you all the group codes and all that stuff to get in. If you are not Hyfield family, but you want to go, RoyalCaribbean.com, Wonder of the Seas, December 30th, 2023. It is going to be epic.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast.
Leaves out of Port Canaveral, Florida.
Leaves out of Port Canaveral, Florida.
Yeah.
Right outside of Orlando. Probably go down and spend a day in Orlando before we get on the boat just to
Yeah.
get our sea
Say hi to
legs.
Disney.
Maybe.
Say hi to Mickey.
I heard there's a mouse there to go visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that too. A couple of them.
Couple.
Yeah.
Well,
Mouse couple.
yeah. They're nice people.
Yeah.
They're nice mices. Well,
Yeah, all of those.
Yeah,
work.
all of them. Okay,
Mices,
cool. Yeah.
Mices. Yeah.
just don't call him a rat.
No, please don't.
He's not a rat.
He's not a rat.
Not a rat.
Not a rat.
No. So anyways, I think that's about it for the show.
Are we ready to wrap it up?
I think I'm ready to.
No? You're not ready to wrap it up? Hey, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
It's way past my bedtime.
All right. Well, let's wrap things up.
You can see it, but I can't.
Well, everybody, that's a wrap. If you like what you heard today, please hit the like and subscribe button if you're seeing us on YouTube. If you are listening to us on iTunes podcast, subscribe to us and leave us a
review.
a comment.
Even if it's not on Apple,
I did say
podcast.
I don't
You
know
did
I
say
said
iTunes.
I don't know I said I.
You know,
I'm sorry.
Google does podcast. Amazon does podcasts, Spotify. So
We're-
wherever you find your podcast, leave us a review.
Absolutely. If you didn't like us and you're on YouTube, hit that like button twice, and be sure to leave us a comment.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
We are planning on doing these weekly.
Weekly.
So
Very weekly.
very weekly. Stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. Or next week, you'll see us here again. And
Yeah, we'll just go from there and make it all more fun.
yeah, hopefully we'll get a little smoother at this. We're gonna try to be a little funnier. No, we're not.
We're just going to be funnier.
We're just going to
try. We are going to
be funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less tripping over words.
Exactly.
So episode 2 is going to be much better, I promise.
Better.
So much better.
Probably won't be for like 2 years, but we'll be much better.
No, that's Expedite Boogie.
Oh, that's right. That's how he rolls. Yeah. Every 2 years, a funny video.
All right, everybody. Y'all stay safe out there. Make good decisions.
Bye.